don't seem to understand. A shame you're singing all this while.
Gen Z just can't catch a break, can we? It almost just feels like we're being kicked while we're down at this point. Have you tried to get a job recently? If yes, have you noticed something? Have you noticed that it is so incredibly hard to get a job now? Have you had trouble getting a job recently? Almost as if you submit thousands of applications with your resume. Maybe you may be overqualified for these jobs, but they never get back to you for whatever reason. One thing that I've noticed now, more than ever, is that getting a job, especially in Gen Z or for Gen Z, is so incredibly hard now. It's definitely not just like, oh, you just suck at getting a job at this point. That may be the case for some people, but of course, I don't know your situation. I'm just going off what I've seen, all right? This is what I've gathered, okay? So how it was back in like the 60s or 70s. Okay, I know I tend to look at the past a lot with rose-tinted glasses, you can say, but you can't deny the facts that this is definitely true. There's something going on here. So how it was back then, right? You know, you can just walk into the store and then just simply ask someone. You can ask the person at the front desk, the cashier. You can say like, hey, can I have a job? Can I work here? And then they would almost like, it's almost as if they would do like 10 backflips in a row, celebrate your existence and be like, yes, you can start tomorrow. Whereas now you can be so overqualified for a job and they just like, they'll just ignore you. It's like, oh, I pretty much own this company. I've been to college. I graduated from Harvard University, Stanford University. I have all these qualifications, so therefore I should work here. Nope, get out of here. You can't work at McDonald's. You're not qualified enough. You don't have enough work experience. It's like, what are you talking about? So a lot of people now, right, trying to get their first job, it's become a paradox now at this point because people are out here trying to get their first job, but we're getting rejected because they say like, oh, you don't have enough experience. You need experience for this entry-level job. Isn't that literally the whole point of an entry-level job, is to go into it without any experience so that you can get experience to go to another job? Like, I don't know if y'all heard that. That is the most Florida thing I've ever heard. Okay, so I know this is gonna come off to a lot of people like, oh, this kid's just complaining because he can't get a job. Okay, let me prove you wrong real quick. I have a job, okay? I've said it in a few other videos. You know, I work at like the factory job. I work there along with doing YouTube on the side as well. It's not like I'm complaining because I can't get a job. I'm saying this because I've noticed so many other people, some of my friends, even like a lot of you guys, we just can't get a job anywhere else. You know, that's the thing. It's almost like now we just have to materialize a job into existence. That's what I think a lot of these people are doing, especially, you know, like with the gems and stuff. Yes, these gems. Bring me a job. Make everything work out. So why is it now, right? The job market is more plentiful than it's ever been. There's more job opportunities than ever before. So why is it now, with the internet and everything, you know, with Indeed, websites like that, you know, you can apply to thousands of jobs in seconds. You can literally submit your application to so many different companies just out of nowhere. So why is it now, when it should seemingly be easier to get a job, why is it now that it is so much harder than ever? Why does it seem like employment is skyrocketing among like us young people? Well, here's my theory. Man, what a time to live in Florida. So this is my hypothesis, okay? This is my guess. I'm theorizing as to why. So what I think it is, right, is now Gen Z, my generation. I forgot where I read it, but it said like the average somewhere for Gen Z is like when they get a job, they keep it on average for about a year or so. And I think the reason for that is because our expectations are so high now because of the internet. Because, you know, you see all these people online, someone who's younger than you, your age, maybe even like slightly older than you, you see them, they're making like 10 times the amount that you are. That kind of like discourages you, you know? You're like, what? Why am I working here then? I'm gonna quit and work somewhere else. I'm gonna look for a different job so that maybe I can make more money. And companies really don't like that. They don't like that at all. Because imagine this, right? Imagine from the employer's perspective. So imagine you're an employer, right? You have this company and you need to hire people. You find someone young, you know, they fit the bill, they fit the job description, they qualified, they got it. So you hire them, right? And you know, they're doing a good job for a little while until out of nowhere they quit. So now you have to go through the entire hiring process again, which entails going through hundreds, if not thousands of applications from many different people trying to find the right person. And even then, just getting an interview now is so much harder than it used to be. It feels like almost impossible. But let's say you do get an interview, right? You have to prove to them, although I will say once you're in the interview, it is a lot easier to prove yourself. But even then, you have to prove to them that you are worthy of the job, that you apply. And so one way that I found to do this that works really well is obviously, you know, having good skin. Because, you know, you don't want to walk into an interview looking all crusty and everything. So that is why I am proud to announce today's sponsor, Tej Hanley. I know guys, it's insane. I have a sponsor now. I didn't think I'd ever see the day. Tej Hanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. For example, they were kind enough to send me this. Look at this. They send you everything. I have a bunch of stuff here, including this thing. Look at this. I got a little scrubber here. Seriously, I still don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life.
Michael Jackson stole my ear, dog.
Especially when you're trying to make a good impression on a first date. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer. Oh, and to make it dead simple for guys like us, because I'm very dumb, as all of you know, they provide you with this instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. It definitely comes in clutch. Skincare wasn't always something I took seriously, but now that I have, I wish I would have started sooner. But you don't just have to take my word for it, because they have over 10,000 5-star reviews worldwide. And if you click my special link in the description, you will get 40% off your first order. And this isn't something you want to put off, because prevention is key. You wouldn't just let a fire spread throughout your house, would you? Of course not. Your future self will thank you. And once again, thank you to Tej Hanley for sponsoring today's video. But with that entire hiring process, you know, with today's age, with there being more people, you know, they need a way to make it easier to find the right person to hire them. So I'm sure many of you know Indeed, right? That website where it displays jobs that are available and then you can go look at it and apply from there. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is that employers on there get so many applications. It's like easily into the thousands in some cases. And so, you know, employers trying to save time and everything, what they'll do is that they'll put on filters on these applications. So for example, right, if you don't have at least 4 years of experience or you don't have a degree in anything, then pretty much the moment you send your application, it just gets rejected immediately without you knowing it. So, you know, it filters it down. It helps the employer, but it kind of fucks us over in a way. Because I mean, yes, it does help because it filters out the time wasters and everything like that. But for other people trying to get a job, like an entry-level job, it really just screws us over. And along with all of that, you have to stand out from the crowd. You have to stand out from hundreds of people, maybe even thousands sometimes. So at this point, it really feels like the only way to get a job is with connections to that certain company, you know? So for example, right, you have a friend that works at like Amazon or something, or like whatever company, and then they're able to refer you and then you can get in. Because that's how I got my job. I got my job at the factory because I know people that work there. I have relatives that work there, so they were able to refer me and I got in. So at this point, it really feels like in today's age, the best way to get a job is just like becoming friends with the employees over there, and that way they can refer you. It really just seems like that. You know, that honestly might not be a bad strategy. Let's say you're antisocial and you don't want to go through that entire thing. You're an introvert. Then it's still possible. It's just very hard, you know? I feel like if anything, you probably have a better chance of doing it the old-fashioned way of, you know, walking in and saying like, hey, can I get a job here? Can I apply? Because I've seen it work for some people. It's definitely possible. It's just way harder now, it seems like. But along with that, you know, what do they always tell us? What do they always tell you? They tell you, go to college. If you go to college, get your degree, then you can get a job. You can get a nice job, a high-paying job, so you won't have to worry about your finances. Why does it feel like now, even with degrees, even there's people that are overqualified for jobs and don't get it, why does it feel like now college almost doesn't work anymore? Because you'll see these scenarios where, you know, someone graduated from like Harvard or something. They have a degree and stuff. They have a degree in the job that they're trying to get, but they still can't get the job because college doesn't guarantee it. It helps you, but it doesn't guarantee it. That's what they say a lot of the time. But, you know, people fresh out of college trying to get a job, you know, they've probably never had a job before. They're trying to get their first job. But now, right, it seems like you just get automatically rejected if you don't have the experience. It's like, what, isn't that why I'm applying? So that I can get the experience? How will I get the experience to work for this job if you don't give me that opportunity? It almost just feels like college is a waste of time at this point, or at least nowadays it feels like that, because if you're not guaranteed the job, then why the heck are people going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt, you know, not paying off their student loans until like their 60s or early 70s? Because I've seen that happen before. There was someone that came over to my job one day. They were talking about like 401ks, and then they told us that he had just finished paying off his student loan debt. That guy was 72 years old. Let that sink in. Now, what can we do about this? I mean, we can blame the employers and everything, but here's my theory, right? Now, I'm not spreading hate towards anyone. I'm just theorizing here on what could happen or what is going on. So what it is, right? You know, I said in the last video, who are the people that own companies? Who are typically company owners? Like the vast majority of them. People that are older people. Who are the old people now in this generation? The boomers, the baby boomers. And so, you know, there has been a big trend now to where people just don't really care about kids anymore. You always see them saying like, oh, I don't want kids. This generation doesn't want kids. We hate kids. Get them out of here. They're poopy, stinky, and caca. Ew. I mean, I get it. You know, we were all kids at one point. I was told that I was the problem child when I was younger. But those people, right, you know, the baby boomers, they're old now. Typically, they're the ones. Now, of course, this isn't all the time, but typically, they're the ones in charge of big companies, like the employers and such. And so at this point, right, I feel like we're just not being given a chance. It's almost like they're kicking us while we're down. Like, people see a young person and they're like, not really sure for the job. Now, of course, that's not the case for all of them. There's companies looking for young people, you know, teenagers all the time. But it really just feels like that with more serious jobs, especially like out of college, fresh out of graduating college. It's like, oh, you just graduated? Sorry, you don't have experience. We're not gonna give you this job. It almost just feels like we were cheated out of a future. Because how it was, you know, back in the 90s, you know, you graduate college and then you were almost guaranteed the job anyways, just because you existed and like you had a degree. You know, you can walk up to people in stores back in the day and they just say like, hey, can I work here? You know, they would pretty much always say yes. At least that's how it seems. Like, yes, someone wants to work here. Yes, you're hired. Nowadays, it really just feels like they're gatekeeping jobs from us. It's almost as if we were cheated out of our future. Maybe it was you. Did you do it? Did you? It really just feels like now most people that go to college don't even get the job anymore. So, you know, a lot of the thought processes now, right? It's like, why would I go into generational debt? Why would I get into like 40, 50 years of debt? You know, studying so hard to get my master's degree, going through all of this pain and suffering, going through all the sleepless nights of studying for exams, barely passing the exams, finally graduating years later, getting my degree, all this pain and suffering just to not even be guaranteed the job anymore.
Literally holding resumes, a stack of them, so that I can go in person to places and say, are you guys hiring? I'm literally applying for like minimum wage jobs, and some of them are being like, we're not hiring, and it's like, what? This is not what I expected. I graduated college with 2 degrees in communications and acting. I speak 3 languages. This sucks. Like, I just want to be a TikToker if I'm being so for real with you. But I can't be delusional anymore. Like, I literally need to make money. So I'm just gonna keep trying.
It's almost like, why even bother at this point? Especially now, it's almost as if now the people that are getting jobs are people that job hop now, because, you know, they're looking for people that are experienced. So it's almost as if, right, why even bother going to college and applying for a job when you can almost just job hop like every 6 months and then get higher paying jobs? Because it's really what it feels like now, you know, because, you know, there's this trend of Gen Z job hopping. But why does it feel like those people that job hop get paid more than the people that go to college and study for that exact job? Better yet, why even go to college when some idiot online just appears in your recommended? They're making 10 times the amount that you are while never having worked a job in their life. It almost just seems like, what's the point anymore? Like, why even try? Now, what is something we can do about this? I mean, like I said earlier, you can just like get connections to different people, make friends, talk to people, then you use them to get a job at somewhere else. Honestly, it feels like that's not even a bad strategy at this point, because it's almost like, why even bother applying to thousands of jobs just for not even one of them to get back to you at all? Because after all, that's how I got my job, is because I had connections to that company. Now, of course, you can still apply everywhere. You can still apply to all these places, because there is still that chance that they can accept you and you can get the interview. That might be it. Guys, just rewire your brain, become an extrovert, then talk to all the people ever, make all the connections, and get every job in the world. I think I'm onto something. I might be saying too much though. I may have said too